Hi everyone. Today I have a special situation. You can see I've got a empty hive body here with a queen excluder on top. I'll show you what that's going to be like. This is another method. I've previously made videos on uniting hives. I've talked about the newspaper method, which is usually what I use. I talked about the double screen method, which involves keeping the bees in the upper hive body. It involves them being locked in the hive outside of the vent at the top. And then there's a double queen excluder method, which allows the bees to intermix between the two hives. The queens just can't if there's two queens in there. What we're going to do today, so the hive number 7, you've previously seen it in videos, and it had a pitched roof. This was my strongest hive going into 2021 in the spring. Now here's the thing, was when I went into the hive, I could tell that they were queenless, and they were trying to make queen cells, but they were doing it with unfertilized eggs, meaning that the eggs were could have been laid by laying workers, or they could be laid by a queen that's still in here, but she is basically run out of sperm to fertilized eggs, so all she can lay is unfertilized eggs, which develop into drones. So I have twice gone through the hive. I've never seen the queen, but the difference between a queen and a drone and a working layer is that queens will usually place a single egg in the cell, and it'll usually be in the center of the cell. Laying workers will usually place multiple eggs in most of the cells, in a lot of the cells, sometimes as many as 6, 7, and then they also don't place them in the center of the cell. You'll see them on the side walls of the cell and other places like that. So in this case, I have a drone frame that it used to be a worker frame. She had laid all the eggs in it, and then they enlarged the cells because they realized they were unfertilized eggs, and they basically made it a drone comb. I've got that comb way on the outside over here, and I've got 3 frames on over here that are worker frames that have had some larvae in there, and they even have some cat brood. Worker cat brood, meaning that they're actual workers, and they were hatching out just recently, which tells me that the queen disappeared in less than 23 days from when I last inspected the hive. Now a lot of that brood may have died since because the hive is under stress, but this is a very large hive. They fill this hive body. I've dropped them down from 2 hive bodies to 1 in preparation for this. So what I have here is a Queen-Right hive, and I'm going to place it on top of them, but I'm going to use a double screen system. So there's a screen here, and then there's a separate screen here, and then this actually has, when you place it on the hive, it has a landing board for bees, and then these pins or dowels, all they do is hold an entrance reducer in place. So if you're dealing with a fairly weak hive, you want to give them half, and you can also use other things to block this off. But I'm going to use this method, and I'm going to tell you what the advantages of this method are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around so that the entrance is facing the rear, and then this entrance is still open. That will give the scent of the queen a chance, and the other bees a chance to mingle, so that after 3 to 4 to 5 days, whatever, I can pull this screen off and then just set the hive body on top of the hive, and it's a normal hive at that point. The problem is that in this hive, I have seen only examples of of eggs placed in the center of the cells, mostly on the drone comb. So I'm still worried that there may be an actual queen in there. She's just, went bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take every frame and I'm going to shake it into this hive body, and I'm going to cover it with the queen excluder. What that'll do is the rest of the bees will come up and out of the hive body, and they'll go right back into the hive, but the queen can't make it through that screen, the queen excluder. So if there is a queen, she'll be left behind. So you have to shake the bees inside the hive as much as possible, inside the hive body as much as possible, and then put this queen excluder on them right away. And you have to do that to every frame. And in some cases, if you have a lot of bees in the hive body itself and whatever, and you can't see each individual bee so that you can't tell if there's a queen, you have to shake that too. So we're just going to do that first. That will make sure there's no queen in this hive. And when I put this on them, this will be the new queen. I have accidentally united hives years ago when I had a drone layer in the hive, and then I united them with a Queen-Right hive, and the drone layer killed the new queen, and then I had the same situation over again. So I just want to make sure of that, and also wanted to show you this method of making sure that you have the queen. So the first thing I'm going to do is just open this hive and start shaking bees into here, and then I'll give them a little time to settle down before I actually introduce that hive to them. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do this fairly rapidly. The queen, if there is a queen in there, she should be on one of those 4 frames I described, but you never know. She could be walking around. You see how many bees there are there? Now the queen's not going to be on the inner cover, and even if she was, I could look and see. So I'm just going to shake these girls right here. You want to get as many of them off as you can. Give them a little smoke. And I'm going to give the first frame I shake in there. By the way, they're a little stressed, and being a little stressed means that they may be a little more aggressive. So don't go crazy with the smoke, but make sure that the smoke actually goes in the hive. She didn't sting me, she just crawled on my finger. You can see how many bees there are still in here. Now a hive that has a drone layer, and they know, they know that they're doomed basically. But for whatever reason, they won't accept a new queen. So if you buy a queen in a cage to unite with them, they won't accept that queen, especially if they have a queen in the hive. But even if they don't have a queen in the hive, if they have drone layers, or I mean working layers, or laying workers, I guess is the true term. In that case, this is the drone frame. It's going to be hard to see from there. Let me look real quick. Yeah, there's eggs placed all over in the cells. Now I don't see a queen, but a queen that is a drone layer will also kind of hide from you a lot of times. And she won't be able to fly up right away if she's a queen. So, and then I didn't shake all the bees off, but I can look at these few bees on the frame and tell there's no queen there. So now, and they are being a little noisy, which is a sign that they know something's wrong as well. Not something wrong with me opening the hive, just something wrong in general. And I typically will look at the frame a little bit. The bees are coming up the sides of the hive body here. Again, no queen. I'll just leave this one out here too. And the rest I'll just put right back in here. So now I can see all the bees on the side, and it's unusual for a queen to be on the side of the hive, but it has happened. But these bees are the bees, you can see them coming in, and they're the ones that are coming back into the hive, and then they're just crawling up the side there. And now I'm going to move these frames to the same spot they were in, and on this side of the hive body there's hardly any bees. So you can just go down and just kind of spot check for a queen. Now, if you find a queen, by the way, that is either a virgin queen or a queen that looks different than the queen you expected, is like, say you mark your queens and this one's not marked, then it's a good idea to kind of sequester her and take a few of these frames and put them in a nuke box or something, and then just check on her laying ability in the near future. So this is done now. If there was a queen, she's trapped in there. And now I'm going to put this screen on, and I'll change the camera view now too. Again, this is a double screen so that the bees can't actually touch each other, but there's good ventilation through the hive. And then you want to take the hive that was the front and put it to the rear. Got a couple guards coming out after me, but you can see the bees. I hope you can see that shot down there, but there's quite a few bees down there. So now I'm going to open them up like normal, but I'm going to not shake the bees as much as possible, because they can't get in through the front entrance, but they can get in through the entrance right here. So if I do shake them, I'm going to shake them right on top of the hive. Now some of them are going to fly up immediately, and hopefully they'll go kind of right back to where they were. And if they didn't, I'm going to shake this one right here because it's fairly close to their front entrance there. And the reason I shake it is because I don't want to squish any bees. So they will find their way in either through this entrance or that entrance eventually. Now I'm going to use the old hive equipment, because this is going to be hive number 7 in the future. But you can see that there's an entrance in the front now. There's an entrance here, and there's a vent up there, and there's ventilation between the two hives. This is a very good method. You could use this anytime you want, not just when you're uniting a weaker colony with a stronger colony. You could use it on any colony, especially if it's going to be hot. So that's the advantage of this method. If you really want to encourage these girls to come out of here too, you can just throw some smoke in there, and it'll kind of rile them up, and they'll come up. See how they're coming up through the hive, the queen excluder. Now I would do this and kind of walk away, but you can see how, and here I'm sure, how active they are. And if you do that just a few times, you know, let me give you a shot of this too. You can see how many more bees now are coming in the hive. But there's still quite a few bees in there. They're mostly on the sides of the hive, which you probably can't see in the footage. You see them come out. And then immediately look there. You can see that they're flying in, and they're going right into their hive. Now some of them are going up to that top vent, but they're not going in, and that's because they smell something different. And you can, while you do this process, it even is a good idea to probably keep that closed off. I might close it off actually real quick, just to make sure that there's no fighting inside the hive. And then later today I'll just come and I'll open that up once this is all calmed down. Another thing that I kind of forgot about since we're doing this is these are queen excluders basically you put on the front of the hive. Now this This one isn't meant for this type of hive, and it's not actually attached. I just kind of set it there, and you can see over here there's a corner where you'd have to plug that up with, say, a paper towel or something like that. But what it's used for is to keep queens. Like you can put it on your hive if you don't want them to swarm. The queen will never be able to leave with the swarm. This is called a drone trap. It was used in prior years. It's not just for drones though, it's for queens as well. It will trap queens and drones in the upper segment of that area. When I shoot in, you'll see cones. Bees naturally crawl up, so if they can't get out, they crawl up, and the queens and the drones get trapped in the upper part of that area because they can't go back down through the cone. This is a short-term solution. You only want to have them on the hive for a brief amount of time because drones will back up in front of the hive, die, and it will decrease airflow and such. Also decrease the worker's ability to get into the screen. In this case, I'm just using it to make sure a queen doesn't get in the hive, and it's kind of a double insurance policy. This was made famous in about 1956 by a Brazilian beekeeper that was hybridizing African bees with European honeybees in Brazil, and he had these on his hives so that the Africanized queens could not escape the colonies. A beekeeper in the area saw it and thought these shouldn't be on this time of year. It wasn't spring, wasn't swarm season, and he removed those. And of course the Africanized bees swarmed and then took over. And the rest is history. Let me see if I can see her, but I did see the queen. So there was a queen in the hive. She was not fully mated or is a drone layer. I'm not going to kill her. What I'm going to do is capture her, and I will put a few frames of bees in there with her, of her own hive obviously, and I'll just check to see if she hadn't started laying yet. Now one of the reasons I'm going to do this is because there was still worker brood left from the old queen. Trying to find her. I just saw her trying to get out of the queen excluder. Anyway, there was worker brood left from the old queen. Therefore, it hadn't been that long. But I did actually catch the queen in here. And so this is a good thing. I've gone through the hive a couple times. I have not seen the queen, but I do have the queen in here now. She's right there. I can't see where she is in the camera, but she's right there. And she's a good looking, obviously mated queen. She's not a virgin queen. There she is. See her right there? So see how she cannot get through the queen excluder? So I'm gonna capture her in a queen catcher, and then I'm going to just release her into a little nuke with a few frames in it and see if she ever does develop the ability to lay eggs, because she is obviously mated. So that is the next thing I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do before I get them is I'm going to capture the queen. So I got to find her again. I've got this little stainless steel queen catcher. It's basically made the same as this queen excluder. These slits here are not big enough for the queen to pass through, and neither is this, but when you grab her, it doesn't pinch her. So you just got to get most of her in there. There, I see her on the bottom. She's actually... Okay. So now, this is not needed, but I'll try to take close up. But there's the queen in there. There's also a couple workers in there, but the queen is in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 frames out of that bottom hive body, and then I'm going to put this queen in that nuke, and I'm going to move them to the other part of the yard, away from this hive. So, and then I'll just shake these guys before I do that. We don't need any of this equipment now because we found the queen. We know she's in here. There she is in the cage, a closer shot in case my GoPro wasn't working well enough. And then of course you don't want to keep her in the sun. I'm just doing this because I wanted to give you a shot of her in there. Okay, so since we did this today, all in the same day, I'm just gonna lift this up from this board up, and I'm gonna set it on the lid that I brought up. This basically allows me to not crush any bees, or crush very few if I crush any, when I do this. I'll do it from this side actually. This is a heavy bunch of bees. They got a lot of honey. Okay, now I just need to replace these 5 frames. And here you can see how many bees come in here already. Okay, that is about as close as I can get with the camera. So here I got the queen, and basically I'm just going to let her crawl down and out. I can see her. It's really hard for you to see her, I'm sure. I'll lift it up now. Yeah, she's still in there, so I'm gonna... She's still in there. And there she was, shook out. And honestly, I didn't necessarily see her go down, but the bees, you can see, are kind of going back in the hive and they're scenting now. That's a sign that she went down into the hive.